Welcome. My name is Brian Knight, and I lived in Melbourne, in Australia, and it's just after 5 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. Yeah, Thursday for me. It's all go, isn't it? Um, all right, let's just share this to start with. So, welcome to this live Forex analysis session. Just note that any trades discussed in this group are to be classed purely as educational only. That's because we're a group of people who help each other and we're not financial advisors. There is also a full risk disclosure and a little bit about us as live session traders there. So, all right, let me just stop sharing that. We'll go look at the charts. Yeah. So here we go. AUD CAD. If we look at this is standard candles, relaxed method, looking at it outside the rails, trend bar change, and a long or a short. So this is a potential trade for AUD CAD. This is wait for short, but this is now we're looking at I mean we had that news there, the Canadian news, which was the inflation rate, which it pushed up, pulled back, um, and now the Aussie dollar is strengthening back up against Canadian, which it will also too against the US. So if you're already in this trade, great. If not, look, it's come up to a high. I was looking at that pulling back a bit, but it looks like, this has surged ahead on the daily candle anyway. Sorry. Audio AUD CHF. This is one that Darren probably wouldn't take because it's not outside the rail. But for me, this has got a trend bar change along and pushing up. Now, it's not, a very quick um, sort of push, but there is certainly a level of what's in there. And what do we got here? What's that? Just consumer confidence. That's okay. I don't think that's going to change necessarily the view on this one. And it's been, buying since the start of this year. That's basically, that's the 31st December. Okay, AUD also pushing back up. Now, it was a short, there is no long. I got a trend bar change. I probably wouldn't do anything until got a long on that. But, you know, there's a few changes in there. There's this gap up here. Potentially it's going for. So good evening, Peter.
Good morning there, Brian.
A little bit cooler this morning, which is very nice. Oh, such a relief. But it's going to work its way back up again. So, yeah, AUD So it just depends. It's around that sort of danger zone of the middle of the X48. So, and there is news. There's Japanese news coming, um, inflation rate, and also a rate decision. This is, I think, tomorrow for you. 23rd. So I'm already on the 23rd, but this will potentially make quite a difference to this pair. I think, unless it's all, it's all factored in and everything else. So normally, if it's going to do sort of a rate increase, it may increase the Japanese yen, which could decrease the value of the Aussie dollar in relation to it. So we'll see. AUD NZD, that also too, looking at that as a sort of a buy option on this one. It has been going sideways though. It's pretty sort of dull as far as an option is concerned.
Brian.
Hey, Darren, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm going out in a few minutes, Brian. Got to go somewhere, so
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, no problems at all, mate.
I'll leave you to it this evening. But so
touch
the
and base, yeah.
JPY pair's making a move in the right direction for me. I was pleased to see today. I might be able
to notice
I may be able to start moving my stop losses on those, which would be good.
Oh, okay. Oh, that sort of situation. Yeah, well, the AJ, I just went from AJ.
Not so much
That's
AJ,
gone.
but DJ is, and the
Which one?
Euro
You say-
JPY and
Okay.
SGD JPY are sort of pushing up nicely. So
Yeah, which is
my radical rules. I'll be moving my stop loss on there.
I was just saying, we've got that potential interest rate increase
Yeah.
coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll wait to see how that sort of, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oil making a bit of a move for me as well. But anyway.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll have to go and I'll catch you tomorrow, Brian.
All right, then. All the best.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
Best.
All right. Well, let's
See you.
AD NZD, as I was just saying, it's still sort of moving sideways. It's, red, green, along from there, but we'll just, it's flattening out against New Zealand dollar. It's just typical for that pair. AUD Singapore. We don't have a long or anything. Still not going to move on that one into the trade. No long, no short. What we really want is a long on here to be able to get into the trade. There is some imbalance further up, so we'll just see if the Aussie dollar is filling its stuff. AUD USD. Yeah, that long out of there and the push up happening. Little pullbacks. These couple of days here, the last on Monday, it just like surged up. But it hasn't really broken the high over here where the wick came up over at this point. I think there's further for it to go, but we're now at that sort of middle zone of the X48. So but if you're in that, could be a bit of a slow move, but we'll see how we go. CAD CHF. Now here's a trend bar change on this one for a sell. And now it doesn't have a short. This just depends on which way you trade this sort of relaxed method. I mean, Darren's very much more conservative, but for me, this is this is a turn and a sell. We've got trend bar. Now, if it did have a short, it'd give me a lot more confidence, but I still think that this is selling out. Look at this, the wick down here. Normally that would be potentially a change, but I'm still considering this one. It's not giving me exactly what I need. See, if you get a short like you did over there, get that sell out, that's really what I sort of would be looking for. We don't have any of that over here at this point. You see how it's created that lower high, the push down back to there, up, lower high, pushing back down. Anyway, KJ. This is a little bit of what Darren was talking about, that I don't know if he's in this one, but this, I think he is. He's got, what was that, December, yeah. Got along there. It did come out of the rail a bit, got along, pushed up, came back down. Now it's starting to push back up again. Again, this will depend on this rate decision that's coming up tomorrow. All right, CHF JPY. Again, we've got a change in the trend bar on the daily. Nice push up. Yeah, it hasn't broken that high, on this hourly. So we'll see. There may be a pullback on that before it does drop back down again. But if it breaks that high, then we're looking at potentially that going back up again. So I think what Darren's saying is a lot of the currencies against JPY are strengthening back, as if the JPY is weakening off. All right. Now the euros. Euro AUD. If you're in the sell on that, that's fair enough, but it's been doing a little bit of the pullback,
Sideways.
it is a bit, isn't it, Peter? It's a bit sideways, but it is creating lower lows. So or just, it's going to push off at some point. A bit like what it did down here or here, like it sort of goes sideways and then off it goes. And I think that this is some of the news that's coming up. I don't know about the Euro news necessarily, but this may not move until next week. We'll just see. I'm not really too fussed with this one. I'm already, in a sell on, but we'll just see how it goes. Euro CAD. Yeah, no, that's I didn't get into the buy in that. Should have. But anyway. Yeah, so the Canadian and US has sort of like come off the heat now. I think I've been waiting for it to come out the other side, or to get a short or change to get into that sell. Oh yeah, Euro CHF. One long, short, long. Again, this is see, we've got 3 candles now that has tried to push up past. It's more likely to pull back a bit before it does push back up. So we will see what happens in their relation to that. That's back in November, December. Yeah, so from the start of the year, it's pushed up. It's nice. Okay. Euro GBP. Now, this has created a very nice push up. Now, the issue for me, and it could push further, but the issue is we've got two red triangles, and but we still have a green trend bar. What's the British? Oh, it's just confidence. Okay. So when it's ready and we get a sell out, then we'll get into it, but not quite at the moment. Your JPY, it's now going back. We've got a long, got a buy. Okay. I could get into that one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for that JPY news to see that for me. But at least for Darren, that's sort of pulling back up again. He would have got in down here somewhere in start of December. Pushed up, got a short pullback, and now it's starting to do its
You
thing.
say you're going to wait for it to pull back again.
Well, more to the point, I think that news, Peter, the Bank of Japan news on inflation, well, their interest rate decision, if they're going to be putting the rate up by quarter of a basis point, that will, I think, might have an effect upon the market. Whether it will strengthen it. Normally, what happens is when a currency pair increase their interest rate, it normally means that it brings money into it because you're getting a higher interest rate, better return. But it's been so low for so long, so I don't know whether it will have that effect or the opposite to it. So I'm not willing to get into a trade now for a buy when that news is imminent, if that makes any sense. So I'd wait to see the result of that news. If it shoots up, well, fair enough, lovely. But if it pulls back down, that would be a better opportunity than maybe for a further buy on it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a better opportunity. And if it goes further and goes, shoots up crazy because of it, it's not likely to, but if it does,
I don't think it's likely to do that now.
No, exactly. All right, so Euro NZD is also to a now don't we
Sideways.
have a couple of triangles, yeah, but out of sideways it's going to go either up or down. So and it has pushed up significantly, so I think it is in a sell on it. But there is no short, so it does create what you say iffy because of that. There is no short at this point. It's just mulling around at the moment. So Singapore, same. Not even considering that. There is a long on it, and we do have a green, but this has been in such a long term. Where are we back here? July last year. It's just been primarily pushing down. Yeah. So for it to now turn, I mean, it is a possibility. It has been down further, like this is back at September 22, a fair below. So you can look at what you can
get down there.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to. I mean, this could push back up now and then push down. I mean, on a daily, it's quite significant if it's going to come to the outside of the rail, which it did, there, and then dropped off, gave us a long, came back out. So, I know, maybe keep out of it for the minute, or this could be indication to get, because with some of the criteria I have, if you got the trend bar, got the long, that you'd be in that trade for a buy. however long it is. If it turns, that's fair enough. Okay, Euro USD. Oh, a little pullback on it today. Okay.
Oh, it's been up and down all day.
Yeah, well, you can see it from there. It's high, it's low, it's back in the middle somewhere. But it's still got a long here. It's just that this faltering that occurs around the midline.
Yeah.
You'll see it comes up the midline to it and then drops off.
Well, I just trade this euro US dollar. Didn't do anything today because, like I said before, iffy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but for
Nothing
long
met the
term,
criteria for me to get in.
yeah, well, fair enough too, Peter. But for me, this has still got, this long and push and change in trend bar
and
has
I'm
got,
trading down on the lower time frames.
yeah. All right, then GBPs. GA. Oh gosh. This is still in the sell. This is good. If you're in that short, had got into it anywhere there, you're up by 400 or so pips. It's great, this one. It did have quite a substantial stop loss on it though, but still it's worth it. Like for example,
Haven't you got an interest rate decision coming?
not until the middle of Feb.
Oh, right. Seems like everything's put off till Feb.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's still not too bad, 2%. You'll be waiting a bit on it, but that's okay. It's like the stop loss is like 200 more. No, I think it's at the end of this month, we're looking at the CPI for here, and then whether they do a rate decision would be in February. But, I don't think they'll change it. The expectation is maybe not until May, but we'll see. It's the way it is. I think it's still selling out, though. The British pound's still working against the Aussie at the moment. Well, we've got a little bit of strength for some unknown reason. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's not necessarily a fundamental on it. GCAD. So against the Canadian dollar, it is pushing up. Now, I don't have a long, but we do have a trend bar change. So for me, I'm looking at this going like, okay, beauty, it broke the bottom, let's pull back up. Maybe we'll get it sell back out, but at least jump into a buy. Now, if it gives me a long, that'd be a bit more confidence with it. But without, it's still a potential buy trade on it. GBP and CHF. Yeah, look, it's well inside the rail. It's just playing there. I'm not really looking at doing anything with this at the moment. GJ. Now we have a trend bar change, no long, not outside the rail. Potentially that is a trade there. That could pull back. For Darren, he wouldn't be getting into this because it hasn't come outside the rail. We don't have a long. Again, maybe this is a wait because until tomorrow after the news for the interest rate decision on the Japanese yen. GBP NZD, that's still selling. I'm not really, again, it's like the GA, where the GA up here. See, very similar situation, a little bit of sideways down, but it's they sort of tend to copy each other. So again, not willing to do anything with GN, GBP and Singapore. Also doing the same thing. It's outside the rail. We've got some green triangles, but that doesn't mean it's going to push up. It just means that it's potentially in a lower price situation. There's a fair bit of imbalance up there. So I think it'll buy back up. I'm just going to wait for a trend bar change at least. Then if we do get along, well, that's fantastic. Now, GU, we do have a long on that. Beautiful. Okay, little pullback now. That's great. And then look at getting in for that for the buy. All right, NZD CAD. This has been a bit of a shock, this one. We now do have a long on it. I think this is what Darren was saying yesterday. It hadn't been outside the rail low. So for him, it's like...
It's just tested the rail.
Yeah, correct. And then now it's also around that middle. So we could get a pullback before it pushes back up.
Yeah.
What we got up here somewhere, September, end of September. It hasn't really come out to the top side of the rail at all, or the bottom side. So now it has pushed up. All right, NZD and CHF. We've got a long on that one. It's pushing up. Change of the trend bar. I could have got in back here. I didn't. But now with this long, it looks like it's pushing a bit. NZD, JPY. Again, got a long on that, pushing back up. It has been choppy. Again, rate decision, wait for that, see what goes on. NU, just like AUD USD, it's had a couple of days of pushing up and then it's done this little bit of pullback with indecision. I'd be looking for this to buy further. Yeah. So Singapore, Japanese yen. Well, we've got a long on that one and a trend bar change. Okay. Time to potentially get into that. But again, JPY news. Going to wait and have a look and see what that does. This is maybe a pre-push up. It'll have to do then a pullback. So stay out of it just for the minute, just because of the major news coming. Yeah. USD CAD. Looking for that to sell, but I think it will. Look at the sideways stuff on it. It doesn't want to, but it's creating these lower lows. And
Depends on the orange man,
that. And what the orange man says and does. I think the US is coming off at the minute. But against the Canadian, it's difficult. It's a bit like AUD, NZD, and Euro GBP. Those currencies are so sort of intertwined. You get this consolidation occurring from time to time. Right, USD CHF. And I think we're getting a sell on this. See a trend bar change. Now, there is no short, but we've got a number of, you can see same sort of thing here. Get it? So I have been waiting for a short on this one, but we'll just wait a little bit longer, I think. UJ. Again, rate decision stuff. There is a short on, but it is pushing back up. So don't know about this one either. That one will just stay out of. USD Singapore. Do have a short. If you have seen that, it has been outside. Looking for the sell on that one. But as you're saying, Peter, a little bit of orange influence potentially. Gold has rocketed up, made a nice high, but I think there will be we're going to get a red triangle and a little bit of a pushback down. I don't know whether it'll break this high up here. Broken the short, so there is a potential.
Everybody getting into gold.
Well, I think I'll be disappointed a bit soon because if it's a bit late for where that's the time to get in where that long was on and trend bar change. But now it's getting up sort of pricey. It's more likely to come back down for a little bit. Oreo silver. Well, it's also working its way. See here? Okay. Bitcoin's at 104. It was up. It's pulled back down a little bit. I think this is going to be a bit of a story, this one. I'm going to get some more pushing up after it pulls back a bit now.
You did
And
hear the news about Trump's Bitcoin and his wife's Bitcoin.
no, what's the...
Well, people bought into it and they lost millions.
Yeah, well, the followers will get bitten. Okay, US oil still dropping off. Darren's into that. He love it. It's loving that one. Short on oil. Drill, baby, drill.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. He doesn't seem to understand how oil works.
Do you think he understands anything of how anything works? It's like interesting. Doesn't matter. All right, that price is back down. Natural gas as well. That's come off a bit. Oh, it's pushed up just today. And the cocoa's gone back up again too. There's a fair jump in that and a bit of a gap in the market there. So, all right. Where was that? Was the Japanese? Yeah, look at that. Look at the push up on the Japanese 225. Which you can see it's been choppy, but maybe this is the interest rate stuff anyway, we will wait to see what happens there. I'm just going to sit with a lot of those JPYs. So
This trading business, a lot of it is just to be patient, isn't it? Sit back.
yeah, absolutely. Well, particularly with this sort of relaxed type method, there's a lot of just taking it easy, because you're wanting that longer term sort of push. That's really what it's about. And looking at the longer move. Anyway, that's all the numbers for today, Peter.
Did you hear about in the European Parliament, the Danish representative telling Trump that Greenland's not for sale, that it's been, part of Denmark for 800 years. and he finished up and says, "I'll put it in simple terms for you, Donald. F off."
Yeah, well.
But he actually said the word.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So probably be in the papers tomorrow.
Oh, well. Yeah, the paper's a bit delayed, isn't it? But anyway, that's yeah, young Donald. That's interesting. Well, just he's certainly going to be ruffling feathers, and now it's like 4 years of rubbish. We'll just see.
Well,
Or
it could
more.
be 2 years because he got the midterms.
Yeah, but that'll only change the House or the
Yeah, but I mean, it'll tie his hands up if they lose out to the Democrats because he won't have the people there.
okay, yeah, well, we'll wait and see.
We'll see.
I think he's being held up with a lot of the things that he signed off on that are against the Constitution,
Oh
and
yeah,
they're going to be challenged as well.
the
Or
courts,
yeah, yeah,
and they
but
don't
he
move very fast.
no, not at all, not at all. As we've seen over the last few years with his court cases. But anyway. All right then, until tomorrow, let's see how we go and some of the ones continue. It's good to hear that Darren's got some JBY positive, but we will see what happens when that news hits tomorrow.
JPY.
Yeah. All right then. Until
Okay.
then,
Enjoy the rest of your day.
I will
Take care
do.
now.
See you later.
Bye.
Ciao.